and it also found that from this point of the money was instead points all the way up to the time, then performing his usual shenanigans to reach this point on the other hand. That's the point. Spotting the star that uses PS in a star gets all the way up the bench. There, an impress is required to jump off. So an impress was saved. Star was
みんな頑張れよ。
In the meantime, Hanako was also very good at saving the neighbors from top of the town.
探しましょう。
Tried tried so many different
探し
strategies.
ましょう。
He came up with a list of 10 different actions. If even one single action from is removed, 0 addresses, the star will be solved. Here they are. Enter the meeting with the high one level. Chuck it to light object on the platform. Hit Chuck on it. Hit past the ball blocks on the star platform. Platform speed. Have one start platform. Break a flame or flame. Start platform. Get one more unit higher than a dive recover on the star platform. And finally, be able to open the star platform. Hanako was so close and so far. And that's when Blush discovered that it is possible to check it as a light object on its platform. Every object that can be carried around can be light or heavy. When Mario carries a light object, it can walk around fairly quickly with the best animation in the entire game. If the object is heavy, though, Mario's movement is extremely low. Also, the game always expects you to grab heavy objects with the punch grab. You can't dive grab Chucky, and you would never be expected to grab it in water either. So those two grab actions always default to the right object movement state, regardless of the weight of the actual object. But as it turns out, you can in fact Chucky in water. After that, Mario will be walking around as if he was holding a mama. Unfortunately, for this star, that wasn't quite useful enough. The key you discovered is that it is possible to dive Chucky only if it's done a couple of frames after punching, for the same reason why it's possible. This can be achieved by standing right on the edge of the platform. Shortly after punching, Mario starts falling on the edge of the same frame. That allows him to punch Chucky and back on the platform at the same time. As he uses the diagram engine, Mario falls to the head object. He can carry Chucky around much more freely. Hanako uses this to get Chucky up ahead. There he can carry it over the spinning platform, where he can get thrown into the star. Another is pressing the boost. You know, it's been a 3 days since Hanako last knew everything's fine. Probably so cryptic sequence that somehow comes together into absolute masterpiece. How about for a now in these ordinance, Hanako first uses the metal cap to form the hand invention that collects the 100 star. Ah, there it is. And there it goes. Oh, there it is. After dropping into the top of the slope, finds it over there. As you may have guessed by now, that was set in bubble battlefield. Translates to high above the center. Now he uses that box to collect the 100 right next to the tower. But he needs one more piece of the puzzle. He goes back down and gets the other cork box of the stage. He plays catch with the Schrödinger's box once more, brings the box to the top as well. And now, don't blink. So what just happened? As Mario threw the box, it warped to the hole. Hanako placed it at this exact position so that the box would land on the elevator platform at this precise angle. Mario quickly gets into position with the pause buffer dive recovery before the box falls on top of him and pushes him off the platform. He enters free fall and ground pounds. Meanwhile, the box's bounce trajectory perfectly follows him, pushing him forward for the entire duration of the ground pound. This allows him to touch the 100-point star much higher than the possible. And from there, the simple star dancer gets him up the rest of the way onto the sledge, and the rest of the star is ready. This brought once more twist to 0 A-presses, and the total A-press count fell to 45, eclipsing every single prediction made by Prince. 2 months to spare. But the next 2 months did not end up as fruitful as January and March were. Most members of the ABC were busy with college and other responsibilities. nonetheless, a major advancement was made.
楽勝だ
This
な
time, they got outside help from a speedrunner. Japanese runner Honey was practicing Bowser in his lab, randomly misconstructed by accident. You can see the bob-omb disappear, but if you pay close attention, you can see that it was way off in the distance. What could have possibly happened? Soon enough, Tyler King, Lush, and Matt on the keys. They eventually managed to recreate and understand what happened. That's when they realized they had a shiny to make the game with instant release. The way this works is actually very simple. It has to do with the fact that the held object's left position only updates if the held object needs to be visually updated. With instant release, Mario bonks into a ball on the same frame that he grabs the object. Bonking automatically drops the object Mario's holding, so before the held object has any time to be drawn in Mario's hands, it's already gone. Because the object is being dropped, it's released at Mario's vertical position or at the hole laterally. This is what's being observed in Honey's clip. The hole was somewhere on the slide, and the bob-omb was released at Mario's height. Now this had important ramifications for the challenge because it was now possible to drop an object without the hat-in-hand glitch and without the massive restrictions of transform cloning. The only restriction this time was there had to be a way to grab the object and bonk into a wall at the same time. This new technique immediately found a use in TikTok clone. By setting up the input directly beforehand, Adam is able to use instant release to mark a bob-omb out of bounds or avoid the Mario is out of its activation radius. Then he uses the other bob-omb, planes, and gets all the way to 97. Then he places a flame clone under the ledge. Of course, as he releases it, he instantly gets burned, which uses up the clone. But all he has to do is clone a new flame. Place it next to the first one, just like he had done with the before. This second clone will be usable. After that, he's making sure to clone one of them, collect it right under the ledge, spawning the 100 star exactly where he wants it to be. And now, everything is in place for the magic to move forward. Dive recover into a flame bounce into a star dance that gets him all the way.
I'm so smart.
From there, dive recovers get him up to cogs where the bob-omb magically appears. This is because as soon as Mario enters the bob-omb's radius, it's reactivated. As it was dropped out of bounds, the game puts it at Mario's position as a failsafe. And now he gets across the cage and uses the star finally. The cage is so impossible that's absolutely impossible.
Oh, we found her. What?
And Pattern Foot was not even done in TikTok Talk.
What do you mean? No, there's still so much dungeon left to explore. I'm not leaving just cause those two lovey-dovey bitches are finally back together. I could care less, besides I really don't want to do that puzzle all over again. See if we can find a shortcut. Fantastic!
お主たちか。冷やかしは許さぬぞ。何を売るのじゃ？銭を貯めたらまた来るのだぞ。
Then I something.
朝までお休みだね。どうするの？
Bitcoin Star sitting at 0 presses for a while now. Could obviously no
internet is back, I guess.
But that didn't stop Panic from trying anyway. That's what he able something truly incredible. Negative equals.
What?
This is the next best thing. TikTok clock always takes 1 ingress to enter because the clock face is so high up. But what if there was a way to collect the star in such a way that once Mario returns to the castle, he's somehow able to re-enter the stage without the required A-press? It seems impossible, because changing maps like that resets almost every variable, strips control away from the player until the celebration is over. There's one glitch that can still affect Mark, despite all that, spawning displacement. When Mark is standing on the platform, he suddenly isn't. The platform will displace him for one additional frame, despite him no longer being on it. When Mark leaves the moving platform by exiting the level in a cosmic, collecting a star, or even dying, a sense per frame of displacement is applied to Mario as he spawns in the castle. Now, for a regular moving platform, this effect is barely noticeable, but for a rotating platform, displacement is applied as a rotation from the platform's center. As such, objects are moved proportionally to their distance to the center, and that is precisely why this glitch can be useful. Here's what Planet did. He called the red one star using one of the pop-ups and collected it while standing on the spinner. The level up through the spinner. While still standing. All of the castle buildings occupies the same coordinate system as the dot. The position of the spinner items on fire from party spawn. Rotational displacement is greatly magnified. As a result, Mario is moved down significantly and he ends up landing on the ground instead of in front of it. One of the 6 impulses to enter King Kong and saved. There's just one time which was is only present in the Japanese version. Therefore, this is This is as valid a version as any. It's not a problem. It's just something to keep in mind. Another version, the second one, is first, actually could be changed for any other. Since they're all already present from stage node, can't be flown. Collecting a star platform, especially with conditions as precise as they need to be to save the re-entry A-press, was simply not possible for any other star. The addition of Tyler Katie to the ABC crew ushered the A-button challenge into a new golden era. The introduction of vertical speed conservation, misalignments, and star dance schemes revolutionized the challenge like only Pan and Kodak had done before. And yet somehow, he hadn't even made his most legendary contribution yet. On July 11, 2015, Tyler Katie was looking for ways to get even more speed than the 500 from repeatedly sliding on the slope. He found this corner, and the open gate created a ceiling barrier. This allows Mario to build up speed using the slippery slope while staying stationary, because he can't move into a ceiling. This was good enough to build up to 17 round speed, at which point Mario would break out of the spot. Then, he found that he could turn around and was out of bounds while building more speed. The ceiling had limits, but out of bounds is infinite. Tyler Katie had discovered infinite speed without needing. The year is 2015. The past year and a half, the A-press count has been low, an incredible 80%, 243. Masters behind this achievement, Span Code 2012 and Tyler Katie, didn't show any signs of stopping. But each additional A-press was becoming harder and harder to save. Options started running out. Until they realized that all along they had been looking at the wrong one. It was time for Mario to enter parallel universes.
This was inevitable.
Model Battlefield had been mostly solved for over 4 years now, ever since the 20-star Zero
This
A-press.
is the price of
There was
war
just
gun
one single
sales.
A-press left, but it was a tough one. Mario waves to the sky, with its coins high up in the air, always looked like one of those stars that would never be done in Zero A-presses. It's impossible for Mario to start flying with a triple jump or a cannon shot, both of which require an A-press, and wild shell hyperspeed could be used to reach the first planes. Getting these two without flying was unthinkable. There was the outside possibility of using Google to reach the ground. Because of the exponential nature of the riches, that was quickly out as impossible without a major breakthrough. And a major breakthrough is exactly what happened. Just 1 week after spawning displacement, Pan shocked the world and he used the latest advancements in Goop engineering, the cluster and Oasis. I mentioned before that when Mario throws an object, to help create a seamless transition to the artist's throwing animation, the object is warped to the hook, not to its exact position. To be more precise, the object is warped 30 units ahead of it.
探し
Whichever
ましょう
direction Mario is facing,
追加
this
で
is
す
the
こ
fifth object.
れも
Same way, while Mario is facing different angles, the two objects will end up at slightly different positions. Goombas with partially overlapping hitboxes can be interacted with one by one by positioning. This is called a cluster. In the past, a Goomba bridge had to be built by placing the hope for every Goomba, causing the amount of Goombas in the bridge to increase exponentially with its length. With this new key development, multiple Goombas will be placed at the same hope at slightly different angles, not on the hope. Therefore, each can be built missing the hope once for every step of the bridge. Any given step of the bridge only required one Goomba for every step beyond, causing the amount of Goombas in the bridge to only increase quadratically with its length. So a bridge of length 8 that required 55 Goombas in the past only required 36 now. 36 Goombas is still a high enough number that you can't build 2 of the bridges without crashing the game, so both points had to be collected in one go. Just reaching the general area that 50 points were located wasn't enough. You needed to do something there that required to stay in here. This is where the Goomba Oasis came to save the day. The idea is actually fairly simple. Transport cloning moves the object to the halfway point between its original position and the hope lateral to the hope's y coordinate. When the original object is a Goomba, its original position isn't always the same. Like most enemies, Goombas have a radius around the hope, so they can run around freely. Therefore, even if the hope is fixed, 2 Goombas released via transport cloning can end up in different locations. In other words, for any given hope in a Goomba's home circle, transport cloning can move that Goomba to a circle half the size of the original, and halfway between the Goomba's home and laterally, the hope's height. More specifically, transport cloning can allow any amount of Goombas to be placed anywhere inside of the circle using one single hope. This is a Goomba Oasis. Here's exactly what Patrick did. First, he needed to place the hope here at just about the 5th point's height so that the resulting transport cloning zone would cover the space around the 4th and 5th points. He did so by using 28 Goombas to build a bridge of length 7 using Goomba clusters. Once the hope was set in the correct
Holy
spot,
shit, this is gonna suck.
of all of these Goomba clones. After collecting the first
探しましょう
Shell Hyperspeed, start cloning Goombas again. He built a Goomba Oasis in the zone by transport cloning 7 Goombas from this trio of positions. Those would help guide Mario between the 2 highest points. If you look closely, notice that because of transport cloning's limitations, the Goombas are all at the exact same height, just the hope's y coordinate. Then he built a Goomba bridge of length 8 to reach this point from the top of the mountain using 36 Goombas. Once everything was in place, he could finally pull off this masterpiece. To reiterate, this press save was made possible by the cluster of pieces which one hope is multiple Goombas, which greatly lowers the amount of forms needed to and build homes and structures. Tasser by the name of Time Man showed something interesting to humans. Paradigm dots, if you since Mario will spiral around it and die. But if you release it right next to the loading zone, and the process to play passing spiraling, rope unlocks and is replaced with a new object. Mario can then spin around this new object. However, because most of the time this new object is very far away, the patient quickly flings Mario out of bounds, killing him instantly. On paper, given an object far out of bounds in just the right place, it would be possible for Mario to spin into the hole that leads to this boxed red coin. But in reality, such a scenario simply wasn't possible, so the idea, as promising as it was shelved. For about a couple of days, Camman had one clip that Tyler, Katie, and Panic couldn't make sense of, where Mario ended up spinning wildly around the first area of the level. What didn't make sense was that Mario seemingly warped across the entire map before he started spinning. Then, Panic realized what was happening. The glitch isn't that Mario warps across the map, it's that he doesn't or should. This is no translation loaded. Levels are always contained within a square between negative and positive 8,192 all directions. Dire Docks is bigger than that. This is why it's cut up into 2 rooms with a loading zone. The rooms occupy the same space in the coordinate system, so the end of the tunnel doesn't line up at the same point in the second. When Martin crosses the loaded trigger, the loaded area switches from one to the other. It's to be translated to the same location in it. The offset happens to be 8,192 units, or half the size of the map. This translation happens every time Martin crosses the loaded trigger, results in a seamless experience. Now, if Martin is spinning around the moon, he can end up crossing the loading level. Mention on P. The whirlpool spins Martin towards out of bounds, and he crosses the loading zone, so he ends up inbounds in the tube. The game tries to translate him to match the new coordinate system, but doing so would place him out of bounds. Unlike the rotation from the whirlpool, which can send Mario out of bounds, the loading zone translation can't put him out of bounds, so he chooses not to move. This is how he ends up in the middle of the true Mario. Once he understood the conditions of his discovery, and stood to save to reach the final, finding a set of conditions and second, Michael corresponds to just outside of the tunnel. That is Mr. Rook, using the heading heritage. When Martin gets caught, he starts spinning towards out. As he crosses the loading zone, translation failsafe is triggered, so he ends up in the how he would be spinning around the pool, it's replaced by this one box, therefore now spins around its own. It's left. Spinning. From there, he can reach the final one. Generally, note that for Mario to swim with the shell, but needs to be healthy. That was from start with 1.5 to 0.6. Despite being well established in the game challenge, the half-A president reach never failed to produce new features. Same time in Jug Culture, I heard the Tyler stood up. Trick. It's good as phones. Running into the Goombas could give a bit of resistance, but not enough to make it possible. Till Tyler found a clever use of the Goombas mechanics called chasing stage. The Goomba chasing after Mario, and chasing him is too far. Mario is too far. Mario is too far. So, the Goomba chases Mario, setting its target towards him. But if the Goomba walks into a pitch to sleep slow, all or nothing, recalculates its current target angle, which means it's no longer targeting Mario. After it turns upon the basis that you targeting, then stops chasing. After carefully Spanner was able to